Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next 2 hours, along with Steve.
Hello, everybody.
Good morning, Steve.
Morning.
Mike has house guest this morning, so he's not going to be with us. Spence is going to drop in later. And Jorvik is hopefully going to be here any second.
He's probably engrossed in the Grand Prix that's going on at the moment, but he said he'll be here.
It's all right. Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And this morning's show is being brought to you by Telestream's Wirecast software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. And that's the intro.
That's awesome.
It's
like you practiced.
Yeah, it's just like I practice reading from the paper.
Yeah, that's really good.
And I want to say hi, good morning to Tish and Dr. John, and Brent is here, and there's Jorvik joining in the chat. And good morning, good morning. If you're listening and you're not logged into the chat, go over to computers2know.com, click on Watch Live, and log into the chat. That's it. If you're somewhere else, if you're watching from another source.
Yeah, all right. Quite often it's interesting, the people that don't actually call in, but they type things in chat and conversations are going on and questions in the chat. Yeah. You could be missing that.
Yeah, if you don't log into the chat, you don't see it. That's right.
Yeah, don't be foolish. You don't want to miss that. There's some good fun goes on in there.
And really, don't worry. You don't need to put your real name in there if you don't. If you're worried about us doing something with your information, which we don't.
Yeah, we wouldn't do that, would we? No.
Nah.
Morning, Brent. And you might even get a name check, see? It's brilliant.
So last week, we cut it short because I was working on the
generator,
and guess what? We could not fix it.
No, that's a shame.
So I got another diesel injection pump, and we'll probably do it this week. I just got the thing, so we'll see.
Sometimes things don't work as you expect them to be. You'll go.
That's the problem. Yep.
Yeah. Best made plans and all that.
It was. I mean, we tried and took half the pump apart and still would not do it. So, sorry.
These things are sent to frustrate us.
Yeah. And you had a frustrating week too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Tell us.
I still have, last week I mentioned about the problems I was having with the computer and the graphics card, and it's a nice i7 that I recently bought, and it's got a 4 gigabyte graphics card as well as onboard graphics. i7 with 16 gig RAM, a nice meaty machine. Something I didn't think I was going to be able to afford, but it was a bargain. It really was a bargain price. But since then, I've had all manner of problems and issues with it. So I've finally thought, right, let's contact the manufacturer and take them up on their next day business on-site warranty, and it's just all fallen apart from there. They don't seem to recognize the fact that A, they sold it to me, B, that it has a warranty at all, let alone an on-site warranty, and I keep getting pushed from pillar to post, from person to person, and then saying, please tell me about the problem, and having to start again. I say, well, I've already sent you screenshots. I've already sent a screenshot for this and a screenshot for that. Why do I have to keep starting from the beginning again? And it's just driving me nuts. So currently it's boxed up in the hall, ready to go back to Amazon. But I've got one more try to speak to a senior customer service person that wrote to me Friday. So I've basically given them a link to their webpage where it shows that it's got on-site warranty, and detailed that down and say, so they, they've either got to be blind that they can't see it, or they don't want to see it. And I'll wait for a reply Monday on that. So it's been extremely frustrating,
to say the least.
Yeah, and I don't do stress well. I end up beating my head against the brick wall. I'll keep you informed. I'll let you know next week if it went well or not.
Yeah, it'll straighten itself out, I'm sure.
Either it will or it won't. I'll get a refund, whichever. I'd rather it fix itself. It get fixed for that bargain price than not. But we'll see. Yorvik's joined us. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Oh,
Good
you're
morning,
a bit
Mike.
quiet.
Yeah, you're on the low side.
Yeah, I've got a problem with the hi-hats. So.
Change the batteries.
Pedal faster.
Yeah, pedal faster.
I can't get any higher.
Oh.
Ooh. Move a little closer. Sir, she said.
Hold on, let me try something else. Back in a minute.
Okay. But I do have some good news this week. The backup that I made of my old PC worked brilliantly. I managed to restore it in 10 minutes and got the old machine up working perfectly.
So that's what you're using now.
That's what I'm using now. The old machine from a backup that I did 27th of last month. So I've only lost a couple of weeks. Not that I do anything much with it anyway. So it's as good as it was last time I used it, in effect. So great. I'm really happy that I did a backup. And now I've actually restored it and it works.
Mm-hmm.
Mega chuffed. Really pleased.
Yep. Backups.
Oh, if I had to restore from scratch and reinstall all the utilities and programs and fix it and move it all around and configure it as I want to, that would take probably a couple of days, and it would end up going out the window, I think.
And then where will the stress level be?
Yeah, the stress level. Well, it just takes such a long time to install things, doesn't it? Especially if you haven't got an i7, which is infuriating because I bought one. Oh, dear. Oh, well.
Well, talking about an i7, one of my customers had an iMac, no, not iMac, MacBook Air.
All right.
With an i5.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not using it anymore. And he said, I'm going to do something with it. I said, sure.
Excellent.
So I brought it home and plugged it in. And right when it comes on, there's a do not enter sign.
Ooh.
Like forbidden.
Yeah.
So I tried it again. Does the same thing. So I started Googling. And they say normally this happens if it doesn't see the hard drive. So the instructions were to press the Command and R, I believe, or some Command and F, and get into a utility that allows you to check the drive.
Mm-hmm.
And everything checks out.
Oh, that's strange.
But it will not boot. So I got in touch with the guy that helped me from Apple, that helped me with the iPad when we got it. And I said, okay, what can you do about this? What can you tell me about this? But it's a nice piece of laptop. In the process.
An i5, yeah.
Yeah, but it's weird. It's an i5 dual core. Not quad core.
Apple do funny things with their
but it's fine. I mean,
Well, maybe there was had no entries on it because you thought, no, you've badmouthed us in the past. You're not having an Apple.
Yeah.
You've said naughty things against Apple in the past. We're not letting you use it.
In the process, Phil had also an external drive. One of those little tiny ones that you just connect the USB to. And it said on it in big that it was bad. He said, take it and see if you can do anything with that. So I plugged that in and nothing happened. I'm listening to it and I hear a click, 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 click. Said, okay, it's probably the hard drive. But then I thought back to when I was using these for backups at Delta Force. I said, took it apart, took out the interface board, plugged it in directly to SATA. Everything works fine. So it reminded me, and we talked about it before quite a few times. If you have an external USB drive, remember, there is no such thing as a USB hard drive. Inside, most likely, it's a SATA drive. And then it has a board, something like this, that you see where it plugs into the drive. And this is what's sticking out from the other side, and it may be just a regular USB or a mini USB or a micro USB, whatever. It's the interface between the drive and your USB port. Now, this is also where the drive is getting its power. So I remember having many cases where with the bigger USB drives, the one that are in a case, and I don't have one here to show you, but the bigger ones, they look like a big box kind of. They have the same thing, and they used to fail a lot. And it turned out that it was always the interface card between the drive and the outside.
Well, the thing is, a 2.5-inch drive is designed that it's supposed to be powered by the USB. There's supposed to be enough power coming through it, but not all devices will power that.
But
I've got a... Oh, sorry. You carry on. I've got something else I can refer to at the end.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're right. The older ones have a power plug on it too. But it doesn't matter. That power goes through that card. And back then, what I would do when we found out, oh, that's the case, I would just buy a new empty case, put the drive in, and everything is back to normal. And just throw the other case away, because you cannot buy those interface cards because they are proprietary from one case, one manufacturer to another. And, an external hard drive case is about $15, $10, $20.
Well, that's the definition there. An external drive is generally a drive that comes with a power brick. A portable drive is designed to run from the USB. It's a 2.5-inch device, so it should run from the USB power. But if you've got a tablet or something like that, that still may not be enough to power it.
It may not be enough to power, and it may even be enough to power it, but if the interface on the card, it doesn't take the power directly to the drive. I actually tried one time to break the connector. No, I didn't do that. That's in the days when we used to have the IDE drives that were in those external ones. And they did not have one like the SATA that is plugs in the power and the data are on one plug. It was
Yep.
a plug
They
for
were always powered, though, weren't they? They always had a power brick or a
right.
power supply with them.
Yeah. So if I remember doing it, I took one of those drives and I unplugged the power connector, the 4-pin, off of the drive, the one that came from the board, and I plugged in a direct power from a power supply.
Yeah.
And everything worked okay.
It's not giving it enough juice.
So something in those cards, in those interface cards, is messing up, and the drive seems to be dead to the person using it. Don't give up on it. Check
If you've
it
got
out.
a spare power supply laying around, there's a pin combination you can use it so that you can use the 12 volt, the power outlets from it.
I mean, you can go and for $20, you can buy each and every one of us should have one of these. I've got a couple of them. The USB interface. It's just, you can buy just a cable and a power supply, and you plug it into a back of a drive, and you plug the power, and you plug it into your machine, and it's a crude external USB drive, but it's nice when you want to just get something from a drive that is sitting outside and you don't know how to connect it. There are all kind of different kits that you can that come with different connectors if you need them to be, but essentially it's a cable with a connector at the end and a little bit of logic in the cable itself, and you just plug it into the hard drive, plug it into the USB drive, and it works. I mean, into the USB port on the computer, and you can copy from it. If you have that, you can always take it. And look, if the drive is not working and you don't even know how to open that case, break it. It doesn't matter. You need to open it and get the drive out. The drive that's inside that case is a standard drive. 2.5, 3.5. I mean, it's a standard drive that they just take and they customize for you to use. So the word is don't give up on it, and especially don't just throw it away thinking, okay, the drive is bad, nobody can get anything out of it.
There's more than one ways to skin a cat. And
Yep.
like Amnon says, having one of those, even if it's an IDE SATA
Right.
combination unit, it's useful to have because you can cover 2.5-inch drives, 3.5-inch drives,
Yep.
and SATA drives as well. And it just allows you to make any drive external.
Right. And the ones I'm talking about, and I haven't seen one that did not have it yet, the plug at the end that plugs into the drive has 3 sides. 4 sides. One side is the cable come through. One edge is IDE. The other edge is for the old laptop drives, which were IDE but were different connectors. And the narrow edge is for the SATA. So you have all 3 drives possibilities in one kit. And you can get it for less than $20. I mean, it is available out there.
I had the experience. I've got an external USB DVD-ROM drive for reading, writing. You can plug it into like a laptop, or because a lot of laptops and things don't have a DVD drive now. And how are you going to install some software that may be on DVD?
Right.
So I thought, well, I'll get one of these drives. I plugged it into my Surface, which is a Windows tablet, and it started to spin the drive and then switched off, started to spin the drive, powered down, and it just kept doing that, which to me said, well, there's not enough power coming through the USB.
Right.
So what I did is I got a USB hub that was powered, plugged it into that, plugged the USB hub in, and everything was fine. I could install my software. But there are some devices that just don't give enough power.
Right. It's if you hear a drive that's not doesn't sound right or starts and stop. And in most cases, it is just like Steve says, it's power. And don't expect a small tablet or something to power a DVD drive, for instance. I mean,
No.
it may, but these things are not precision made, and it may not have just enough oomph to do it. It's better anyway to use a powered hub to connect an external device to instead of going directly.
If you've got a powered hub, then it's taking its power from the hub, not from the device itself. It's like I've got a portable 1 terabyte USB hard drive, so it's just 2.5-inch hard drive inside, and that powers in it. It works fine. It just, records and plays and does whatever else I need it to, and that's great because it's not power hungry thing, but it's not a power hungry device.
Right.
But a DVD drive that needs to spin up and perhaps turn lasers on and off, that's going to take a bit more power, and it just wasn't capable of doing that. But there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yep.
Stick it through a hub and you're fine.
Yep.
Hey, Movie Buff, welcome.
Hey, Movie Buff. Jorvik, are you?
Yeah, it should be okay now.
There you go. Yeah.
That's much better.
You were good morning. A good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Wow, that's incredibly different to what you were when you were in just now.
Yeah, I found out what the problem was.
Listen,
You give it a good kick, did you?
That's the only way.
he connected to a powered hub.
Yeah, powered hub, and he's fine now.
Yeah, just change the batteries.
Listen to this story. A Minnesota woman has been charged with manslaughter after she shot and killed her boyfriend as part of the pair's attempt to become YouTube celebrities. The two has set up 2 video cameras to capture Perez firing the gun at Ruiz while he held the book in front of his chest.
Oh, no.
Now, it depends what book. It will stop some bullets. If it's a good thick book. But listen to this. He apparently convinced Perez that the book would stop the bullet from a foot away. This is where irresponsibility come into play. The gun was a Desert Eagle 50 caliber pistol. Now, I shot those pistols, and these are elephant pistols. They are to shoot big stuff. That's a big pistol. It was not, the gun was not hindered by the book. And he was found.
Common sense doesn't come into it.
It's ridiculous. But he was found with a single shot in his chest and was pronounced dead at the scene. Hours before the incident, Perez posted on Twitter, "Me and Pedro are probably going to shoot one of the most dangerous videos ever. His idea, not mine." The teenager, who is pregnant with the couple's second child, now faces second-degree manslaughter charges, which carries a maximum sentence of 10 years and a fine of $20,000 or both. A local sheriff told the New York Times, "I really have no idea what they were thinking. I just don't understand the younger generation on trying to get their 15 minutes of fame." Isn't this amazing?
Ridiculously stupid is the way I describe it.
I'm holding a book. Shoot me. Take the gun and try and shoot the book by itself, against a tree and see what happens first.
Prop it up first and give it a go, and then try it with another book. See, if it had been a Bible, it would have been fine.
That gun would have pushed him to the ground. that
Madness.
bullet. It's just amazing. I mean,
Well,
I know it's got
just 'cause-
nothing to do with technology, but yeah, it's those 15 minutes of fame. Everybody wants to be, oh, whoa, we went viral on YouTube. I sure hope YouTube, if it made it to YouTube, that they took it off.
let's hope so.
It's a problem with living in a virtual world, isn't it?
Yeah.
You lose touch of reality.
Good morning, Tim. Welcome in. Nice to see you.
Nine
If you
one.
like to, I was just going to say, if you'd like to call in, it's 919-518-9773, or if you've got Skype, Computers 2K Voice.
Yeah, and do call in. Don't be shy.
It would be awesome to hear from you.
Yep. Another thing that caught my eye, it's social media giant Facebook, Google, YouTube, and Twitter and Microsoft said they were forming a global working group to combine their efforts to remove terrorist content from their platforms.
Excellent.
Too little, too late kind of thing. I mean, better late than never, but
I think it's only
What?
under threat of all the countries that said they'll fine them massively if they don't.
it's what took so long?
They've
yeah,
got to be doing something because they've been threatened so many times. It's about time they actually pulled their finger out and did do something.
Yeah. I mean, you would hope that the people that are running these social media platforms would be responsible enough to say, okay, we shouldn't carry this, and they should have done that 5 years ago.
You shouldn't have allowed it in the first place.
Yeah.
It it beggars belief, doesn't it?
It's let's see if they can do it now. Let's see if they will do it. They can if they want to, but let's see if they will actually do it. Hopefully somebody's watching.
Well, that's it. There's so many governments around the world watching them now that they're going to have to do something pretty drastic to circumvent it and stop it from happening.
Yup.
Be interesting to see how far it goes. Is it going to turn into multi-censorship? Time will tell.
I mean, sometimes it's a good thing to err on the side. How does it go?
Err on the side of caution.
Of caution. Yeah. So what else do I have here? Did you guys? Are you guys don't use Skype, do you?
I'll need to get the login
Occasionally.
information. Login information for the Hangout. Very rarely nowadays. I don't have any friends, you see.
Well, last month, Skype announced a major update to its messaging and video calling app. The update brought a visual revamp as well as social features such as highlights that were first introduced by Snapchat. At any rate, it turns out people are not enjoying the update as much as Microsoft had hoped. I've been reading and hearing so many complaints about, and this is apparently has to do with the app that you run on your phone, because on the computer, the Skype that I use on the PCs still looks the same.
Yeah, it does. The desktop version does.
Yeah, it's not changing. But I've heard so many horror stories from people say, "Oh, the new Skype. Oh, the new Skype." Why would Microsoft do that, and why copy? A lot of them were complaining that the Skype is really a business application. There are other applications for teens to talk with each other, call each other. You know, you have Snapchat. And they were saying, why would something like this change in order to serve the teens and to look like it was made for teens? And that tells me that this is coming from business people that are using Skype for their business. And I would think that Microsoft wants to keep these people loyal to them. But they're not.
They're trying to attract the younger generation, I suppose.
Yeah, but I mean, you can attract younger generation. Make a different application for the younger generation.
Don't have to tag it onto to what's already there that's working fine. Hello, Nick, by the way, talking about younger generation.
Good morning.
Hey.
Amnon, I've got to tell you something before. You know what's the mainstream on your website?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about that.
Okay, you should.
It's Mixer.
Yeah, you should change that thing on there.
I can't.
Okay, then you need to switch the main CDN.
Yeah, they actually sent. I mean, let me tell you what it is. Nick is talking about the fact that when it comes up, it tells you that it's for mature audience. They sent an email last week that say your account has been suspended because you are not complying with our terms. So I said, suspended terms? What are you guys talking about? And he said it's saying that it is family friendly, but there are some things there that don't belong. So if you go ahead and give us a good description in the channel about what you do and change it to mature, then everything will be okay. So I said, fine. You know, if that's what they want. It seems like I don't know. Now it's Microsoft.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of sites do this, but it's not. I wouldn't recommend it for your main CDN where people have to click.
Yeah,
a button.
I meant to do that and never got around to do it. They finished with them yesterday and said, okay, yeah, everything is okay now. It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know of any content that we have. And remember,
I do.
What?
You do a show about the war. That is most definitely 18 plus.
Well,
100%.
It's history. I mean, it's being
Doesn't
taught.
matter.
It's being taught in schools.
Well, that's not true, but
hey, no. Wait a second. If you listen to the show, the NCVVI that is hosting that show actually teaches it in local high schools. And they are trying to get into more. I mean, it's in other states also, but it's mainly in North Carolina. It's being taught in school. That's the whole thing about the education.
But I'm sure that's why they're flagging it as 18 plus.
Maybe. I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
But nevertheless, I just want to make sure you were aware.
Yeah.
But back to this Skype story. Young people are using FaceTime.
And why don't you have a video?
I do have video.
No, you don't.
It does to me.
Yeah,
Really?
it does to me.
By the way.
Okay,
Sorry.
I don't see it. So let me hold it, guys. Let me just refresh the page.
He's just gone out and come back in again.
I'm just going to refresh it. Hold it. And join.
No, but my stupid webcam.
No, I still don't have.
All right, Amnon, this is what you need to do. Click the gear, go
I'll
to
be damned.
bandwidth, and turn incoming video back to 720p. I'm sure you probably have it on thumbnail only.
Gene is saying in chat, Nick, that he's at your recommendation. He's set up his Roku 3 now, and he's loving it.
Oh, Gene, call in if you can. I'd like to hear about it.
It's 919-518-9773, or if you're on Skype, Computers 2K Voice.
Okay,
There
I
you go.
tell you, I mean, there is no.
Click on the gear.
Hold it. Well,
Go
wait
to
a second.
Go to bandwidth. And there's a button that says
Hold it in.
incoming
It's
video.
not. My camera is muted.
No, I'm talking the gear in the
Yeah,
upper
yeah, yeah,
right-hand
yeah,
corner.
yeah.
It says general or bandwidth.
It is. It's up to 720p.
Outgoing or incoming?
Outgoing. Oh, incoming also up to 720.
Oh, then I don't know. That happens.
That's very interesting.
Try a
What-
different browser or something.
You know what's the weird thing? I made the stamps big,
Okay, Steve's got his video on too. I see.
and I can see you moving in the little picture at the bottom. But
Try a different browser.
oh, I don't want to change again now.
Okay.
I mean, I'm using Explorer because that's the one that was working all along. Okay, yeah, we can do it. Keep talking. We'll show people what I'm doing. See if you can see at the bottom. Nick is moving, but let me do this a second. If I turn that, nothing happens. No.
No,
All right.
leave it like that. That's fun.
No, I want to get you. Hold it. Let's do it.
Do not crop those little things at the bottom. It's going to be so distorted.
No. I mean, let me try and refresh it one more time.
For
I'm moving.
Hey,
North Carolina.
now you're in. Okay, I did it a few times and it straightened out. Okay. So yeah, what about the Skype thing? Because I don't use it on other than on the computers, but apparently it's a mess.
What I was saying is that young people don't use Skype; they use FaceTime because it's built into iPhones.
And what do they use on the Android? I thought
I don't know. To be honest with you,
everybody was talking about Snapchat.
Well, yeah, but Snapchat's not really a video chat service. Snapchat is a way to send videos back and forth. But if we're talking about video communication, it would be FaceTime. Honestly, I don't have many friends that have Android phones.
Oh,
and I don't blame them. I mean, I hated my Android phone. It was a piece of junk. I think we talked about, or somebody talked about this. I think it was last week when I was listening to the show. I think Steve was saying how he has an iPhone now. I don't deal with it anymore.
The Android was I mean, it was okay. You know, I'm not really into smartphones and use data like when I'm out and stuff. So the Android was okay, but since getting the iPhone, it just works. It's great.
It's just unnecessary nonsense.
well,
Plain and simple. So no, the answer is if you're on Android, you probably are using something like Skype. But I mean, most people, if they have the choice, they get an iPhone.
interesting. But I mean, but the Skype, the talk was that Microsoft is trying to make it look more like Snapchat. So because and it wasn't that kids were using it; it's that people are complaining that they make it look like something for kids.
I mean that's fine. That's fine and dandy.
I heard,
but
go ahead.
I don't see young people moving to Skype. I just don't see it.
But did you hear people complaining about the new?
I mean, people complain about Skype all the time.
No.
But no, I don't see them doing it.
No. All right. So here is something really funny here. Last year, Apple launched a long-awaited bug bounty program to reward friendly hackers who report flaws in the iPhone to the company. Despite inviting some of the best hackers in the world to join, it's a bit of a flop so far. The iPhone security is so tight that it's hard to find any flaws at all, which leads to sky-high prices for bugs on the gray market. Researchers are reluctant to report bugs both because they are so valuable and because reporting some bugs may actually prevent them from doing more research. People can get more cash if they sell their bugs to others. If you're just doing it for the money, you're not going to give bugs to Apple directly. So these guys, Apple says, okay, we'll pay you, I don't know how much, if you find anything. And those guys found out, oh boy, if we find out one of those things and we sell it on the gray market, we make a bunch more money. You kind of wonder what kind of people Apple went and got for that endeavor.
No, they don't go and get people. They make the program public, and then whoever shows up, shows up. It's not an invite. That's how these programs work. Hello?
Well, what's happening with you, Nick?
Nothing.
So, are you? What happened to moving?
Moving next week instead.
Okay.
Not this week.
Okay.
Are you moving in locally or is it far away?
I'm moving to North Carolina.
Oh, right. Okay.
I'm moving in with Amnon. I'm going to move in.
What is this away then?
He's going to be in the basement. What in the world is that picture there? That's
picture?
half of Nick's is in there.
I don't know. You got something screwed up.
Oh,
over there.
yeah, I know. Let me refresh again.
Oh, no, I'm sure it'll work this time.
Third time lucky.
Yes, Steve, you talk. All right, Nick.
Hello.
Oh, jeez.
It doesn't need to destroy the flow of the show.
I'll be damned. All right, you know what? I'm going to change.
No, you just
I'm going to change.
just said you weren't doing that. Lord.
I'm going to change. And I'm going to go with, let's go back to Chrome. Well, why did we leave Chrome? What was wrong with Chrome? Let's see if it'll work. And join. All right, Nick. Oh, so now I need to adjust. Oh, geez. Hold on, guys, because the sound is not. Talk about flow of the show. Something, I guess there was some update that screwed up. Oh, yeah, that's why. Microphone, line in, speakers. All right, can I hear you now?
Hello?
Yeah.
There we go. Sorry, Steve, what were you saying?
Yeah, you were saying that so it's furnished, so you don't have to pack furniture, which is great. It saves a huge amount of space and time.
Yeah, so but the thing that I do have to pack is, I mean, really the main thing I'm bringing is my computer setup here. So I have to wait till almost a day or two beforehand to pack all of this.
Yeah.
Or I won't be able to continue doing some of the stuff I'm doing. But most of the other stuff I've got some of the stuff behind me packed, but yeah.
It's a big job moving, isn't it? It's one of the most stressful things you can do.
Yeah, especially when it's 14 hours away. That's not the most convenient move.
No.
Nick, you're moving?
I am. I'm moving to Wilmington.
All right. Like to live there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, sir.
Cool.
We're spending lots of weekends in Raleigh.
Morning,
Make you
Spence.
into a North Carolinian.
I'm gonna be. I was talking to somebody yesterday. And I was told I had to be a Duke fan if I moved to North Carolina.
No.
They tried giving me a Duke hat and everything.
Nope.
I resisted.
You have three choices: Duke, NC State, or UNC. And personally, I'm NC State because my daughter went to school there. So
There you go.
you have to pick one.
Nah, I'm not really into college sports. I mean, do I have to pick one?
No. That's just stuff guilt that people lay on you.
There you go. What's going
Good
on,
morning,
Spence?
Spence. Good morning, Spence.
Good morning,
You got
good morning.
an awesome picture this morning.
I
Really
thought I would
clear.
at least stop in for a few minutes because on this Friday, I am heading to the frozen north.
Oh.
Har!
Absolutely, yeah, I'm ready. Got my hat. Actually, it's quite warm up there right now. It's summer, but
Are you going back for the bus thing?
going back for a 2-month tour
Awesome.
as a driver guide. So
Spence, don't wear that hat at night.
why? I'll be shot.
Somebody
Could be
will
shot,
shoot you. Yeah.
With a big reflection in a light. So whenever
Yeah.
point buck.
Yep.
Yeah. So
So
you,
Amnon, just a quick update.
yeah.
That stubborn axle nut is stubborn no more.
Oh, how'd you open it?
With the
Spence had a
three-
big problem opening the big nut that holds the hub on the axle. When it's a front wheel drive, it's got those huge nuts that the axle is on, and he tried it. So how did you do it? Tell us.
Well, the first attempt at it, I had a 1/2-inch breaker bar and a 32-inch socket, and I broke the breaker bar.
Right.
So I put a 5.5-foot pipe on it and got on that thing, and it broke. But so
Okay.
since then, with your impact tool and a lot of penetrating oil, I've been spraying it and torquing it back, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. And then I got on it this morning with a 3/4-inch breaker bar and socket, and it just went bing, and that was it.
With a long bar or
Long bar, yes.
the same
but it
5
was-
foot, the same 5 foot.
Yeah, but not anywhere close to as much torque. So it must have loosened it
Okay.
doing the impact tool. So this is because I brilliantly replaced, even though it wasn't broken, the alternator on and I know we've been criticized for going off topic on the show here, but hey,
No.
I had an old Mazda, 150,000 miles on it, Mazda 626, and it needed an intake manifold gasket, which I replaced. But there's never a better time to replace the gasket than when you change the alternator, I should say, because it's right there. It's right in the open. So I put the new alternator in. Everything's great. Drove it for a couple of days, and I had the battery light coming on. The alternator failed, literally brand new failed. So the only way to take it out without removing the manifold again is to disconnect the passenger side axle and drop it to make room to drop the thing out of the bottom of the car. And I have to send the replacement. I got a replacement on Amazon for free because it was defective, and I've got to send it back before they charge me for the second one.
So are you going to
obviously-
wait? Are you going to wait for the replacement to put it in, or are you going to put the old one back in?
I haven't decided yet. I don't know if I'm going to actually do it before I go. So I don't know if I'll
Oh.
get to it, but I got to send the other one back. I'll see if I have time to put it back together. But also on the agenda today was fixing the dryer before I left. So,
So you're going to be gone for
well, I come back on September 24th.
almost 3 months.
Yeah. 10 weeks.
Yeah.
So Pam was coming up to visit partway through. And I'll be working 60 to
changed the
70 hours a
camera?
week. What's that?
Have you changed the camera?
Me?
Yeah.
No. Well, it's the same camera, just I don't have the blue screen.
All right,
I'm not using XSplit. I'm just straight off the camera.
All right, because it's a lot clearer than it normally is.
Yeah, maybe XSplit is reducing my resolution.
Could be,
It's
yeah.
possible.
It's coming through really sharp.
Well, I'm just a crystal clear, sharp personality today. That's what it is.
That's
Yeah,
what it was.
no
yeah.
way.
Of course it is.
No way.
Yep.
So the other thing is making lots of progress over at my daughter's house, where we had a bit of an environmental kerfuffle. I'll put it nicely.
Kerfuffle?
Kerfuffle. We discovered in the process of renovating, ripping out all the floors and putting down new, that the old vinyl floors were asbestos.
Oh dear.
And because of our aggressiveness, we started to grind away the old backing. Because you saw the house was built in 1980. There was no asbestos in flooring then, which for the most part is true. But turns out that they were using new old stock. They were allowed to use older flooring that they had in stock when they built the house. So they picked something from a couple of years before that had it in it. So also, Alan asked me if I'm flying or drive. I'm not driving. God, it would take me 7 or 8 days and lots of hotel nights to make it up. So I'm flying. Much cheaper to fly and actually buy a car up there for the season and then sell it at the end. So, but enough of that. How are you guys doing?
Fine.
Yeah, doing all right. Thank you.
Good. Is Nick, have you got a place to live?
Yep.
Good. Oh, good. I'm glad you're coming down.
We'll have to visit when you're back. When are you leaving?
This Friday.
Okay.
Friday morning early.
So then when
Be
you
out
get
of
back,
here
we'll have to
6
get
o'clock
together.
flight.
Ooh, that's a very early flight.
Yeah, well, it was that or leave late in the afternoon and get in to Fairbanks at 2 in the morning.
What's the time difference there? 4 hours or 3?
It's 4 hours difference.
Okay.
4 or 5. I'm trying to remember now. It's 1 hour off the West Coast, so it's 4 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you taking your electronics with you?
I'm taking my Mac and a tablet and maybe, I'm not sure what else.
Are you putting it all in a Tesla cage?
A what? A Tesla cage?
Yeah.
Why? Because of the Aurora?
No, because of North Korea.
Oh, yeah. Well, I already got Larry. If you're listening, yeah, Larry was giving me a hard time because he said the leader of North Korea has got you in his sights up there. Yeah, well,
They were showing the range, and sure enough, but they're talking more.
That missile wouldn't get within 2,000 miles of the U.S. and it would be blown up, and then that entire country would be underwater.
Yeah, but they're talking about actually not the missile exploding on the ground. But
We're not talking about the warhead, no.
they're talking about EMP.
Oh, no.
I still think we have things in place that we could probably take it out over the Pacific
Yeah.
somewhere.
I'd like to think so.
There's a really cool installation in Alaska. Fairbanks is it's pretty far north in the state. It's like almost 400 miles north of Anchorage. You still got to waste another 600 miles to go, or 500 miles up to Prudhoe Bay. So it's kind of halfway up. It's the farthest north city. But on the way down from Fairbanks, you pass an Air Force base that actually has no runway anymore. It's called Clear Air Force Base, and it is on the it's part of NORAD, and it has been since the 50s. And it was the first radar installation that was designed to detect missiles coming over the North Pole and from the Arctic trajectory from the old Soviet Union. They used to have something called Distant Early Warning System, or DEW line, which was there to detect planes coming over to attack the United States, and those have long been abandoned and cleaned up. But this is the Clear Air Force Base recently got an upgrade into their mission, where they not only were they mapping space junk, all the stuff that's floating around in orbit, but now because of other strategic threats, they've gone from being a Air National Guard site back to a regular Air Force site. And it's pretty cool. You drive by and you can see the old radar. It looks like a giant box spring standing on end, the three of them all pointing north, that were these giant radar antennas. But the new radars are actually much smaller, and they're kind of hexagonal shaped. It's kind of cool. You can see it from a distance. So yeah, Jorvik, about the Tesla cage. Anybody ever gone to see a Van de Graaff generator at a museum somewhere? They do it in Chicago, where they show this static electric show, and the guy who sits in it, Faraday cage, right?
Faraday cage, not Tesla.
Faraday
That's
cage,
right.
yeah, is the guy who running the show, and he's in basically a big bird cage that shunts all the energy from the static electricity from around him. It's the principle behind lightning rods on a house. It creates a cone of protection the same way a Faraday cage would around the house. It's cool.
Yep.
Oh, we got Tisha saying that her son, or her one and only child, my son, who's almost 30, is in Nome, and my youngest sister is in Anchorage, and I'm in Chicago. It's a 3-hour difference. Yeah, so that's it's 4 from here. Yep. So I will, if I can. I know my schedule is going to be really wonky up there because of the hours, but if I can record a little video segment every so often, I'll try to send it to you, Amnon, to play back in like a 1-minute hello.
Sure. Special.
We'll call it Spence on the spot. I'm
it.
expecting one 3 times a week.
And I'll show you the high density places I visit that have the town that has 300 year-round residents. Some of them are a lot smaller. I mean, it'll be in some pretty remote places. No phone. I have to use. Each of us is equipped with. If we go on these long road trips, we get a sat phone, so we can call in if there's an emergency. And it's cool technology. Let's talk about Alaska and technology for a second.
Okay.
They have one of the best fiber optic networks that was installed quite a while ago that they're upgrading again, that runs up the 2 main highways from Anchorage up to Fairbanks. But one thing that they're doing with the company that I work for up there is all commercial vehicles have to move to, not all, but the ones that are required to do logbooks are moving to electronic logbooks, and it's mandated by the federal government. So this company has adopted a technology. It's Android tablet based, and you will do all of your logging of your hours and locations and your inspections of the vehicle using this new technology. And it's GSM based, so it will automatically send information back to the mothership. And if you can send messages to each other. It's actually.
So you can't just wait until the end of the day and update all your books the way that you used.
Well, now it'll be real time.
Yeah.
So within reason. I mean, there are dead spots when you drive north and south on these highways, but anytime you hit a town, there's going to be coverage. So. Interesting. I've been watching the videos. I haven't, of course, gone through the training yet because I haven't gotten up there, but I did.
Yeah, after 2 days, they'll have you teaching the other people how to use it.
No, it's pretty straightforward, and if you understand all the concepts you need to know about reporting, then it's better because you used to report your time in 15-minute increments on a logbook, which was a flat rectangular pad, carbon pad that had 15-minute increments across the day, and you'd start and you'd move this line up and down depending on whether you're on duty, driving, off duty, and you had to use a straight edge to fill this thing out. And it looked like a Venn diagram kind of a thing. And sometimes it'd be hard to do, and you had to make decisions. Well, if I'm here more than if I'm doing this particular thing more than 7.5 minutes, I have to report it as a change in status. So it was kind of tough. If you stopped to use the restroom and you're only in there for 5 minutes, do I report that? Or do I just show myself driving? But usually if you're away from your vehicle and you shut it off, you need to report it, even if it's only a few minutes.
Rules and regulations.
Yeah, but now they're all GPS based. They know where you are, which really is not an issue because there aren't many places you can go and wander around with a bunch of people on your coach. So, we're going to pull over here so I can go to this store. You guys just hang for a while while I run in here and buy something. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
No.
All right, listen to this. According to IBS Intelligence, websites run by some of the largest banks in the U.S. have scored the poorest in a new security and privacy analysis audit. The nonprofit Online Trust Alliance anonymously audited more than 1,000 websites, ranking their security and privacy practices. None of the sites investigated knew about the test. I was always wondering, why would these organizations, banks, PayPal, I mean, other places that deal with money and with privacy. Oh, you can only use alphanumeric characters. Oh, and you can only use 8 characters. You can't go more. What in the world, in these days where there's so many break-ins and hacking and all that, what does it take for a software vendor to allow a password to have special characters, to be long? You know, the same thing with pins. 4 characters only. What do you mean 4? It's so easy to break a pin, apparently. I mean, a program will do it in split seconds. Why are they staying? Why they're giving you the latest options when you log into the bank, but the door is still locked with a little hook on it that anybody can come in, sort of.
Isn't that something?
It just makes no sense.
My bank actually supports thumbprint login to the app on your phone if you want it. I'm thinking that's good. So I'm laying there bleeding to death and somebody takes my thumb and puts it on the phone and there we go.
Wait, is this... so you mean you can start the app and use your thumbprint to authenticate?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Which I have turned off, by the way.
Yeah, but what if you go from your desktop PC? Can you use sophisticated passwords?
You have to log into the... Yeah, it's the same password, but you...
Yeah, but can you use sophisticated, strong passwords?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah, you can go in and...
Not in mine.
I noticed that having changed my passwords on several accounts recently, I put in a 14-character password, and it still said moderately strong until I added a bunch of special characters. It didn't say strong. So they're, at least in some places, they're starting to say, wait, you need to...
Yeah, and I remember, I can't remember who does it. I think it's Nick. Nick, you here?
Yeah, what's up?
I think it's in WordPress. If I put a password that has 3 pound signs in it in between. It says medium. If you take 2 out and you leave just 1, it says strong.
I had no idea that was a thing.
I don't understand why it's doing that. I mean, you use a long password and you have pound in it. And no, it's not good enough. And you take 2 of those. I mean, I was playing with it and said, oh, so they're looking for just 1. Huh. But yeah, all these places, I mean, come on, they really need to upgrade their authentication to make it a lot stronger, which why they don't. What else? Steve?
Well, I'm gonna say goodbye, guys. I have to take off and get going here. I've got
all right, Spence.
Two things laying in pieces that I need to put back together.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
hey, everybody. I'll be in touch as available. I'll try to. Maybe next week I don't actually report to work until Monday morning. So Sunday I will get there Friday afternoon. So I have Saturday and Sunday to look for a car, but if I can find a decent broadband connection, I'll call in.
Okay.
Awesome. Safe travels.
Yeah,
Thank you.
safe travel.
You
Be
too,
safe.
Nick. Thank you, Steve.
Spence, we may see you this evening.
All right.
Maybe.
Say what?
Maybe we'll see you this evening. Maybe.
Maybe. I'm not sure. Depends on how close I get to.
I was hoping that Nick was going to be here too.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Anyway. All right.
See you guys. Thanks.
See you, Spence.
Take care, Spence. Bye.
I ruined everything.
No, you didn't. I mean, we're having the cookout.
I wouldn't have been there anyway. Even if it was
Well,
seems to be the thing to do. Mike was saying earlier that he's uncovered his barbecue. So yeah, maybe it's the thing to do. The weather's getting better.
absolutely. And we'll have to have once Spence is back, we'll have to do a big get together.
Yeah, but then you're gonna be old.
I'll be in North Carolina by that point.
You're gonna be old homeboy. Now, what did the guy say? I remember when a policeman stopped me after I was here about 2 years, and I was still driving with an international driver's license, and he was saying, I don't know if he said homeboy, but he was referring to the fact that, hey, you're local now. You need to go and get the local driver's license.
There you go.
Yeah, but in 2 months, 3 months, you're going to be. Oh yeah, okay. I'll get to the car and I'll just come back to work later. 919-518-9773. Computers 2K voice on Skype. Call in, guys.
Call in. This is ridiculous. Every week, it's like pulling teeth. Everybody's in the chat. Somebody pick up the damn phone.
Yeah, guys.
I've got something. I've got something to get some feedback on.
There you go.
And please, I'd like some feedback from people in the chat.
Oh no, don't worry.
No, that's not going to happen. And people on the call as well. Can you go to this web page? All right.
Oh, a virus.
Look at it. No. It's just Amazon. Oh. Look at it and just tell me who sells that item and what is the warranty.
It's currently unavailable.
Who sells it and what's the warranty?
So it's not being sold by anybody, but it's by ZooStorm.
Yeah.
And
the warranty is
1 year next business day on site, but it does not say who it is sold by.
Well, ZooStorm is a seller.
No, it's not. They're not.
They're not available now, Steve.
They're not available because that's the one I bought.
Yeah.
But it clearly says next day business warranty. They don't seem to be able to see that. They're blind to that fact.
Oh, I have that same case. That's a really nice case.
It's not the case that it comes with it.
Oh.
The case is the same as what Jorvik's got. That's his case, but it's not the case that they sent me through. And I've spoken to, well, I've emailed 3 different people now, and none of them are recognizing the fact that it's on-site warranty, even though it says so in the advert. Because I bought the last one, or the one. But they just keep moving me from person to person, and it's like, tell me what's happening. And I said, well, look at the screenshots I'm sending you. Here's the web page. It says next day on-site warranty, and yet they're not agreeing that.
It probably cannot run Windows 10.
It runs Windows 10 perfectly.
That's got Windows 8 on it. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, I got rid of that pretty quickly. I don't know. It's for some reason the company can't. They don't recognize me as being the person that bought it, or they even sold it, let alone shipped it to me. And they don't recognize it's under warranty. I don't know. It's just my luck.
It's okay. You'll get it straightened out.
Yeah, thanks, Dirtbag. Somebody did reply in the chat.
Again, 919-518-9773 or Computers 2K Voice on Skype. Call in. Call in.
Call in and tell us what you did tech-wise this week.
Yeah. So here's something else interesting. I wonder how long it'll take. Hulu has joined the Alliance for Open Media. Okay. It's
a caller, quick.
We have a caller.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Yoo-hoo.
Good morning.
Good.
Turn down the sound on the computer.
I got it muted.
You got it muted?
Yes.
Okay. So you can hear and respond now. So
You do. Yeah, it's muted now.
okay.
Again, I just muted it again.
So what's
Can you hear
going?
me okay?
Yeah.
Oh, and Nick asked me to tell him about the Roku 3. And, I was using the Apple device before that. And we got talking about, it was about 3 weeks ago on the show about Roku and Apple and whatever, and what's the best. The Roku, I'm really loving it for a number of reasons. One, the remote is much more, has better function. And the Roku has just good function, ease of use. I mean, there's a lot of things. You can get anything you want, including DirecTV, the NFL ticket, Nick. So thanks for the recommendation. I'm enjoying it.
Where's Nick?
He's left just for now.
Well, it's nice of you to ring in,
this,
Dean.
this was for Nick.
Thanks for ringing in.
Yeah,
I wanted to tell him it's going to take his body a while to get acclimated to the heat down here in North Carolina.
The Roku is a great device, no doubt. And are you going to take it with you when you travel?
Well, I'm thinking about getting one for the lake house up in Virginia. So I've been using Chromecast up there, but
yeah,
I think Roku 3 is a lot better. So I'm probably, it was only $49.
Yeah,
I don't know whether I got redone one or what, but it was only $49.
It doesn't matter. It works.
Right.
Yeah, buying cheap things doesn't always work.
Sorry, Steve. Didn't mean to.
That's all right. No, I'm really glad for you that you've bought something cheap and it works. Well done, Gene.
Thank you. Okay, guys.
All right, Gene.
Basically going up to that lake house for a whole week now. We're having a house painted up there, so I'm going to be a little computer restricted up there. I can't get DirecTV, so I got Dish up there, and I got satellite internet. So, it's not the greatest in the world, but allows me to get to the outside world anyway. But the
allows
fish
you
is
a
good,
connection,
so catch 'em.
albeit bleh.
Okay, guys.
All right, Nick is back, so
See
you
you
can
later.
tell him. Nick is back.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, you told me to let you know how I like the Roku.
Yeah. So what? And you called a couple weeks ago. You were deciding between like an Apple TV, a Roku, or an Amazon Fire, right?
Yeah, I had the Apple TV, and
Okay.
that remote is like there's no function on it. It's ridiculous. So when I got the Roku, I got that going. Boy, the remote's got all kinds of function. The application itself has all kinds of function. There's access to almost anything you want. I'm really enjoying it, so I'm going to get another one and bring it up to the lake house as well.
Have you used the headphone jack?
I got it set up. I haven't used it much. I don't, but
Oh, you
I
got to
tried
try
it.
that
It
out.
works
That's
great.
super cool. So what are you using the device for?
Well, right now I'm going basically. I watch a lot of movies on it. I like that, and occasionally I'll do some TV shows and stuff like that. I don't know. Just about everything that's on there, I've tried.
Are you watching us on it?
Am I watching what?
Us, the show.
Oh, no. Right now I'm just on my computer at home and watching you online.
Okay.
Computer studio. Yeah.
We have.
What I was saying, Nick, is it's going to take your body some time to get acclimated to the heat down here in North Carolina. So if you feel hot for a long time, don't worry about it.
See, is as weird as it is, we have a similar heat. We don't have the same heat, but we have the humidity here is much worse than it was when I was down there. So I mean, we'll have weeks at a time where it's 95 every day with 60 or 70% humidity. So the heat's not a problem.
So you going to take any courses at the university down there or anything, or are you just going down to work?
No, I'm going down to work, but they're right in town is Cape Fear Community College in downtown. So they may offer some. I'm hoping they offer some type of online program. Maybe I could take some classes there.
Yeah, you can check out UNC Wilmington too. They've got a annex down there.
Oh, okay. There you go.
All right, guys.
All right,
Nice
all right,
talking to you.
Gene. Thanks for calling.
Right on. Bye-bye.
See you, Gene.
See you later.
So, Hulu joined the Alliance for Open Media, which is developing an open, royalty-free video format called AV1. AV1 is targeting better performance than H.265, and unlike H.265, will be licensed under royalty-free terms for all use cases. The top 3 over-the-top SVOD services, Netflix, Amazon, and Hulu, are now all members of the Alliance. In joining the Alliance, Hulu hopes to accelerate development and facilitate friction-free adoption of new media technologies that benefit the streaming media industry and its viewers. So I guess they have to pay somebody out there to license their video player, the standard that they're using, which is probably the MP4. And they're trying to create a new standard that will be freely available, royalty-free
That's a good thing.
to their own people. It is a good thing.
Yeah, if you don't have to pay licensing and there's no licensing restrictions, go for it. That's what we
Yep.
want.
Yep. It would be nice. And if you were talking about Amazon and other shopping, thousands of images promoting goods sold on Amazon and other shopping sites have been removed after a photo sharing service changed its terms. eBay and Etsy have also been affected, in addition to many forums and blogs. The problem has been caused by PhotoBucket introducing a charge for allowing images hosted on its platform to be embedded into third-party sites. The company caught many of its members unaware with the change, prompting some to accuse it of holding them to ransom. Denver-based PhotoBucket is now seeking a $399 annual fee from those who wish to continue using it for third-party hosting, and is facing a social media backlash as a consequence. So, what's the difference? Those of you that use stuff like this, what's the difference between that and using images that are on your OneDrive or any of the storage places? What is the difference between doing that? I mean, whenever I want a picture posted somewhere, I put it on my server, but that's not everybody has that luxury. Why would you
just for pictures?
Yeah, this is just for images. Why would people want to use PhotoBucket and not use OneDrive or any of the other free storage?
Well, the big one that's popular now is Google Photos. Because they do really, really good face detection. So, for example, if you take a photo with Amnon, if I take a photo with you on my phone and save it to Google, and let's say I'm friends with you on Google Plus, if I search Amnon on my pictures, it will probably find the picture of you and I.
Okay, but that's not what we're talking about here. I mean,
I'm just saying that's one of the solutions. iCloud iCloud offers an iPhoto storage thing. I don't know why anybody would use PhotoBucket. It's not built into any device.
Okay.
And I don't think you'd use OneDrive either. You'd use either probably Google Photos, Picasa, that whole ecosystem, or
now can you
Apple's system.
Can you put the images on your iCloud and embed them into your website? That's what they're talking about here. That PhotoBucket allows you to put them there, but then post them on eBay or on Amazon as the photo of the product.
Well, if you were to post them on eBay or Amazon, you'd have to download them off of PhotoBucket to your computer and then re-upload them. So that's not an embed.
Are they talking about embedding?
Yeah, using that image, using that product image for Amazon or eBay is not an embed. That would be you taking the photo, dragging it to your desktop, and re-uploading it. I don't think iPhoto allows that, but I'm sure Google Drive allows you to embed images.
Okay.
So does like Imgur and sites like that. So I don't know.
It's $399 just to store and be able to embed. Seems to me like something is.
Oh, and it's not built into your device. You'd have to install a third-party app to use it. I mean, it's not by default.
And Ukraine is saying that it has proof that Russian security services were involved in the cyber attack that targeted businesses around the world last week. The country's security service said it had obtained data that points to a link with an attack on the nation's capital, Kiev, in December. Ukrainian firms were among the first to report issues with malicious software on Tuesday before the virus spread. Moscow denied any involvement, adding that the allegations were unfounded. Remember what they were talking about? You know, you can hack and you can leave breadcrumbs behind that will point at somebody else. The guys over in the Ukraine are very good with hacking and with computers and stuff like that. So if they're saying that, I wonder what proof they have and why don't they put it out there? It's
Available to the highest bidder.
a what?
It's available to the highest bidder.
Yeah, that's the thing is that we are also becoming sort of like sensitized to these things. I mean, there was another one last week, and nobody ever talked about it.
No, it's just like, oh well, it's just this week. This is what's
Yeah.
happening this week.
Right. Amazing.
Yeah, it's like drive-by shootings. You hear of one, you think, yeah, that's just another one.
So who used Google Talk?
I used it back in the day.
You did too, Nick?
Well, that morphed into Hangouts, right?
Yeah, he just did. That's it. There's no longer. They just did it 2 weeks ago. The day dreaded by stubborn office workers around the country has finally arrived. Google replaced its Google Talk features in Gmail, known colloquially, I'm not saying that word right,
Colloquially.
to most of the world's as GChat, Google Chat, Google Talk, with Google Hangouts. The reasoning? Google's announced of the switch back in March. It says that Hangouts are has better features and integration with other Google products over the barebone chat, which launched way back in 2005. I used it a lot. Haven't used it lately, but Google Talk was really nice.
Yeah, it worked all right. I used it because you could call American numbers for free.
Yep. I've actually got something here, Amnon. This is interesting. I saw this article this week. I had to bookmark it. The headline reads, Google and Facebook money from ads than every newspaper, magazine, and radio station in the world combined. So Google themselves,
Yeah.
$2.7 billion worth of advertising.
Why?
There was a story about Amazon surpassing 150 million or something like that Prime subscribers. I can't remember the number. But when you think about it, the money that they're making from that, from just memberships, we're not talking about selling. Billions and billions.
Yeah, well, and interesting with Amazon, I'm sure. I mean, like most people, you've never really seen an Amazon ad. You see the Echo ads every once in a while.
Yeah.
But Amazon themselves don't really advertise in a traditional sense.
Right.
But I don't know if you've been seeing this Prime Day. I've heard multiple radio ads and seen multiple TV ads for Amazon Prime Day, which is coming up this week, I think.
But they have to do it because everybody is saying that it's worthless.
Well, it is worthless, and it's going to be worthless again this year too, because it's just, oh, well, wow, if I only needed 15 toasters, Prime Day would be a great deal. I mean, no joke. I mean, it's not even being sarcastic. They have deals, but you have to buy bulk of Keurig coffee makers or toasters or footballs or whatever. It just doesn't make any sense.
Or it's a Prime deal on the crap that they can't give away.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, if you want Prime Day to be, what Amazon wants to do with Prime Day is they want it to be their Black Friday. If that's the case, first of all, you need to have more products in stock because they'll have 1,000 TVs. Those 1,000 TVs are gone in 2 seconds because with one click buying on your cell phone, if I see a product I want on Amazon right now, I can press the button and it will say swipe to complete transaction. And I purchased that thing, and as long as it takes me to swipe my hand across the phone. So they don't have enough in stock, and most of the deals are garbage anyway. So there you go. I mean, it's just I don't know why they're putting so much time into this. It's been a flop. This is, I think, the third year they've done it. Total flop every year.
Every year you hear people just complaining about it, that it's not what it all cracked out to be.
Yeah, they just don't have good deals. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, for example, for me to go on Prime Day and buy some stuff on sale, it would need to be like a video game or some technology product. It's not that. It's mostly like home. It's like bulk home goods stuff, which is fine if you need that. But that's not for everybody. So I don't know. It's just not typically not good deals, not good stuff either.
Yeah, it's a lot of hype, but they're generating. They're getting a lot of new Prime membership on that day.
I guess that's why they continue to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is the third year. In the last 2 years, it has been. Well, no. So this is the third year. Last year it was a laughing stock because it was terrible the first time they did it, and I can't imagine this year's going to be any better.
Well, apparently you can join Prime now just by saying, Alexa, join Prime.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Sorry.
It's
Yeah, they've got
amazing.
an app for it now.
It's amazing now. They're what is it? They're showing Dish with Alexa or DirecTV with Alexa.
I'm not sure.
Commercials. And when I see it, I look at Alexa, and sure enough, it comes on, but no commands are going out, so it's fine. But now phones. You need a new phone, smartphone. Red, a company known for its high-end $10,000 plus cameras, is launching a smartphone called the Red Hydrogen One. Some of the features include a 5.7-inch hydrogen holographic display capable of viewing holographic red hydrogen 4-view content, 3D content, and 2D, 3D virtual reality and augmented reality content. A built-in H3O algorithm that can convert stereo sounds into multidimensional audio and support for modular components. The picture was neat because you saw a hologram, but I'm sure it's not doing that yet. But hydrogen. Red hydrogen. So if you need a new phone and you have the money, there you go. You want to be different. What'd you say?
I've got a little bit of a rant here. I'm sure most people are familiar with the brand OnePlus.
Yep.
They probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, came out. So their company and their idea spawned behind the concept of a new iPhone is $1,000. The latest Samsung phone is $1,000. We want to be a cheap alternative to that. And they did, to many people's surprise. The OnePlus, which was their first phone, the OnePlus One, or maybe it was just called the OnePlus, their first phone, was fairly inexpensive. It was, I think, $250, had decent specs, and it wasn't the best thing in the world, but for a first generation device, it was all right. OnePlus 2 came out. I think it was maybe $300, and it fixed a lot of the issues from the original OnePlus, and everything was fine and dandy. But since then, with the OnePlus 3 and the OnePlus 3T, now the OnePlus 5, their new OnePlus 5 is over $500. So they have finally succumbed to the idea and the fact that you just can't produce a cheap cell phone. It just doesn't work. And now this company that was supposed to be making cheap, affordable cell phones, you can get an iPhone for $900. Why would you buy this thing if you can buy an iPhone for $900? So it's frustrating, and I think it's part of they thought they could make a cheap phone with good specs and sell it for $250-$300, and that's just not the case. They're figuring out that it costs significantly more to do that. I know Brian Aldridge has got a OnePlus 3, and I think his wife has got one as well. And I know they both like it, but I'm not. $500 is not a cheap smartphone. I mean, it's more than half the cost of the lowest end iPhone. So that's I don't know. It's just frustrating. I don't think Red's trying to do that, but
No, I mean this is obviously for people who's got the money to spend, because it's a gimmick.
but there was a lot of chatter about this OnePlus.
Well,
Actually, not even. You can get an iPhone 7 Plus for $769. Let's see. I'm trying to buy one on Apple's website. Yeah, I can get the one. If I wanted to get an iPhone today, it would be $869 for the 128 gig iPhone.
that's to buy it.
That's
right
to buy
there.
it outright. I
Yeah.
can walk into an Apple store, give them $900. The phone is mine through and through. No problems. So the question is now, why would I spend $500 on this
Right.
lesser,
Yeah.
supposed to be cheap, not cheaply made, but cheap phone?
Yeah. Well, they built their brand on cheap, so
and now
it
they're
sticks.
totally screwing everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of ridiculous. I was for a while looking at getting one of these with a OnePlus 3T, and I'm glad I didn't, because the price has gone up. I think the price went up $75 from the 3T to the 5, and it doesn't really do anything that's that much better. It's got some typical cell phone next generation upgrades, but it's not much better of a phone. And it actually really gets under my skin that they did this, because I remember that their whole marketing campaign.
Marshall has a 7 Plus, and that's the second one, and he's going to have to go to a third one. It's weird. He'll be talking on it, and suddenly he'll sound muffled. And in the beginning, I was telling him, stop holding the phone between your shoulder and your ear. Talk to it like you're supposed to say. I didn't do anything. And he went and had it replaced, and it worked okay for a few weeks, and started doing the same thing. Last night he said I can't stand it. I'm going to go and I'm going to have to replace it again. And he was Googling, and a lot of people are complaining about the 7s, that the camera dies, the audio is bad quality. There's a lot of complaints about the 7. Very interesting. I mean, you don't normally hear it.
I bet you the phone quality issue is an issue with the carrier, not the phone.
It's Verizon, so I don't know. I told him, I said, hey, just go and tell him you can conduct business. I mean, this is not for fun. This is his business phone.
Yeah.
So we'll see. For the cord cutters, Hulu, again, announced it's finally adding HBO as an optional add-on for subscribers, as well as HBO-owned Cinemax. The premium networks will be offered to those who subscribes to Hulu's on-demand service, plus those who pay for Hulu new live TV service, including both the ad-supported and commercial-free versions. As on most other streaming services, including HBO Now, the HBO add-on will cost subscribers an extra $14.99 per month. I don't know how much HBO normally costs for if you have cable, but so if you're thinking about cutting the cord, there you go. All these channels, all they want, I mean, they're not married to cable. They will go anywhere where somebody is going to pay them for it. And there goes Hulu. is interesting. That's something that's a little bit, I mean, it's a long story, but it affects everybody. Cox, the third largest U.S. cable company, last week started charging overage fees to customers in 4 more states.
Yep.
Internet provider CenturyLink, on the other hand, recently ended an experiment with data caps and is giving bill credits to customers in the state of Washington who were charged overage fees during the year-long trial. Cox, which operates in 18 states with about 6 million residential and business customers last week, brought overage fees to Arizona, Louisiana, Nevada, and Oklahoma. Cox was already enforcing data caps and overages fees in Arkansas, Connecticut, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, and Ohio. California, Rhode Island, and Virginia technically have monthly caps, but no enforcement of overage. According to Cox, list of data caps by location show that all that stuff you can go and see if you are. Massachusetts and North Carolina seems to be exempt from Cox data caps altogether. Why? I don't know. Similar to Comcast, Cox has capped customers' use terabytes of data a month and charges $10 for each additional block of 50. They will introduce a pricier unlimited plan later this year, Multi-Channel News reports. If Cox continues to match Comcast's pricing, the unlimited data plan would cost an additional $50 a month above what customers normally pay. A year ago, CenturyLink started a data cap trial in Yakima, Washington, imposing a 300 gigabyte per month and overage fees of $10 for each additional 50. But instead of expanding it, they cut it off and say no. And I'm hoping that what's the name? Time Warner. Shoot, what?
Spectrum.
Spectrum
Charter.
is not going to come up with caps. It's amazing. They do it and then they do away with it. Here's AT&T. I didn't know AT&T did away with the caps when you have a gigabit. They put it and then they take it away because they see a backlash. Why can't these companies realize, oh, we can't do that. We're going to lose customers. Are they making enough money during that period that it's worth their while?
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, in terms of losing customers, I would disagree with that, because if Time Warner decided they were going to implement a cap today, I think most people would not really have a choice. They'd have to get DSL, which isn't really an alternative. But I guess the bigger question to ask is, why the hell are they even implementing caps anyway?
It's a cash cow.
Well, yeah, but I mean, is it? I don't know. I don't really think it is. I think most people that are using the internet for
normal use.
If you have 100 people signed up for broadband internet service, 95% of them are not even touching their cap. You may have a couple in an area that do. So
True.
Is it really? It's not like a cell phone where, I don't know. That doesn't.
I mean,
really make any
look
sense.
how it was with cell phone. You said cell phone. Cell phone also had so many minutes, so many texts. Now they
have data caps.
The what?
They have data caps, and I think it makes more sense on a cell phone to do a data cap. I still don't like it, but I think it makes more sense. I don't understand it at all on home.
Yeah, they had data.
Broadband Ethernet.
Data was unlimited, and you had so many minutes to talk, and you had so many texts and all that. Now, a lot of them are unlimited everything. I don't know what kind of service it is, but it's. Yesterday we were sitting there watching TV, and the guy that we remember from Verizon Can you hear me now? The guy comes
Yeah.
on and talks about free, unlimited
T-Mobile.
talk, text, and data. And I told Kathy, I said, okay, I guess I need to go to Verizon and change our plan. And then I said, oh, wait, he's not Verizon anymore. He's talking about Sprint now.
Yeah, but it's a scam. It's unlimited data up to like 25 gigs, and then they throttled you to 3G speeds. I mean, that's the thing. Is it's
Oh.
all. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's all bullshit. I mean,
Yeah.
it really is. I mean, you go look at you go call T-Mobile and say, hey, I want your unlimited data. What are the deals? Oh, well, it's unlimited for the first 20 gigs, and then we'll throttle you to 3G speeds. And it's like, okay, well, then that's not unlimited. Because it's not.
Yeah. I in doing the 24/7 reruns, I got a couple of months ago. I got a notice from AT&T because I was doing it on the Uverse, the 50x5, and they said you are at 80%. No, you went over, but we're not charging you this month. So I looked, and sure enough, it went over. So I set up an IFTTT reminder that reminds me to switch from AT&T to Time Warner and back to AT&T every 15 days. So it balances it. So it's fine. But yeah, it's I can't wait for the gigabit. So there's no caps. But like you said, Nick, for everyday people, they don't even touch it. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
that's why I don't really I don't understand the concept. I don't understand why they do it for home connections.
I suppose it's psychological that a lot of people think, oh no, well I want unlimited. I'll just pay the extra then.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I really don't know.
I don't know. But it's obviously making a difference.
I think all it does is end up pissing people off, and then they get trashed on social media over and over again.
Well, they don't care about customer service, do they?
Well, yeah, but they do though, because what Amnon said is what they do this nonsense where they roll it out, nobody likes it, then people complain about it on social media, and then they end up taking it away and re-looking at the program and bring it back. And I mean, we're seeing it with the cell phone carriers now. Every single carrier took away unlimited data, and now every single carrier is bringing back unlimited data.
Right.
I mean, within like a 2-year period, because enough people complained about it. I mean, they worked so hard to get me off my unlimited data plan that I finally got off of it because they gave me $500 off my iPhone if I dropped my my grandfather data plan. It was worth it, and now they're bringing it back.
Mm-hmm.
They practically gave me a free phone to get me off that unlimited data plan, and now it's back. that was only like a couple years ago.
They lost almost $1,000 a year on our plan just because they were going to charge $20 a month to keep the unlimited, which we found out we weren't touching the 3 gigabit that they're giving us now. So it went the bill went from $216 down to about $116. And I told them, I said, you should have kept, we don't use it. You should have let us stay. I probably wouldn't have done a thing. But as it is, it's good. It helped us save money. Anyway, it is that time. Anything else, anybody? Steve? Jorvik?
No, there's nothing for me.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
And good morning to Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. While you're at it, like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.